Hey, you wanted to share the story.
I know.
I don't know what you expected.
It just, look, everyone needs to get content somehow. But you know what we do to get content?
Not
We
that.
roll dice.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we do roll dice.
Oh, that is. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello. I forgot.
Imagine if we had a Patreon and they were like, "What's that secret clip?"
There is none. It never was recorded. And then I literally will forget the reference.
That's okay. I think last week's episode is the one you have to have fun with because my internet pooped.
Oh, I've already edited that.
Congratulations.
And I put my face in your space. So there's just two of me for the video version. The audio version, you'll never know.
You'll have to check out the video version to find out when it happens.
I will also say it was just like, it was really funny listening to your side because you're just like, did he freeze? And it's like, I think Itisdpayne lost his internet. And I'm like, I think Hop lost her internet. Like we both said it.
Same time?
It was almost at the same time. And then I did mine. Like, it was really funny because you went into like, okay, what's wrong? Looking at, because you got real silent. I just didn't shut up. I'm just like, I don't know. She's coming back. I'm going to tell a story. I don't remember what the story was about. And then like halfway through it, I think I was like, well, I'm going to pause here. And if Hop is able to get back on, we'll pick it up from there. And like, as I was saying that, that's when you messaged me. It was just like, I think my internet is dead. I'm like, okay, well, bye.
What an ending for the people. Did you get a chance to tell them what episodes we watched this week as we are watching through Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I think so, but I don't remember because that
okay.
was also like, what, 3 weeks ago?
Almost. But look, this is the first week that we've both watched both episodes, and that's
In
more
a
of
while.
a me problem. That's because
I even wore purple for Courage.
Are you gonna scream?
It wasn't that it was on top of the
Are you
laundry
gonna
pile.
scream hard enough that all your teeth fly out?
No, because even though someone is slamming their door right now, I'm not, because it's 10:15.
I did like that where he does it and he's like, oh.
Yeah. I do like how it's just he does things like when he's afraid, and then it's just like, why did I do that? my everything.
But yeah, so we're only doing, in this, our mini-series of watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, if this is your first time stopping in, we're watching the first season because we were trying to look at things to watch that fit nicely between the seasons. Since we finished talking about books, I was like, it wasn't A24 last. It was the books, right?
Yeah, the books and then A24. And
now,
then we know what's next, but we haven't announced that because we're technically halfway through
this. And this is going to take us out through Halloween, and Courage the Cowardly Dog rewatch is a very nice thing to do for Halloween. And it's nice to do something low pressure and not always having to watch a movie. Talk to me next year.
Yeah.
Check how I feel next year.
Yeah. It's going to be real rough next year when we have to do 2 in a week. But, I do have if we have to record 2 episodes in a week.
Oh, if like one of us is out of town or something.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not doing the Halloween mistake again, are we?
No.
Not the brackets.
Oh, I forgot to tell you this. I believe Sunday I will be watching the Alien movie.
You did message saying that.
I couldn't remember what I said.
I couldn't remember what you said exactly. But yeah, so anyone who's curious, we've already done an entire series where at the time of recording, we had watched everything in the Alien and then the crossover to Predator universes.
And even the movie that we didn't even know was dropping, that came out in the middle.
Yeah, including Prey. Schedule. So Prey was the newest released movie when we watched all of them. Yeah. And we ranked all of them. And I was skeptical to watch Romulus, but it's not Ridley Scott, I think, is only a producer. If that makes you feel better, Itisdpayne. We watched the prequel trilogy. That's why I say that.
I don't know. I just I just want more David and Walter. I just want one of them in there. I just want him and yeah.
Again, watch our series on that as I scream and go, what is this classified as? They're androids, but they're like the same person.
This did remind me that I had to look up where to see if I could find when they were showing on Sunday.
Oh, like your movie times and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did enjoy Romulus enough that I messaged Dpayne saying, yeah, it's worth the watch. I guess let us know, either via like reviews, comments, likes, sending one of us direct messages on some social media. If you'd like us to do a little bonus episode on
I think we
Romulus.
should just do it.
Just do it?
just do it.
I'm trying to get people to interact with content
Okay,
so that the algorithm
interact.
thinks that people like us.
Yeah. Let's ignore the fact that we don't promote this podcast at all.
Yeah, that's their job. They're the listeners.
We're doing all the work. Okay, there's actually some doable times. Okay, I'll just leave that up.
Yeah, it seems to be getting reviewed pretty well. I would say, so you know how we complained about the prequel trilogy where we went, everything is like too bright and it feels too clean and futuristic?
Mm-hmm.
Romulus feels like the first two movies in like the color scheme.
Doesn't it take place between the first and the second one?
Yes, but technically the prequel trilogy happened before all the rest of them, and yet everything was perfectly scientific.
Yeah. I did hear an argument for that. Like recently heard an argument like why like the brightness and like everything looks nice is because like an Aliens is
we don't talk about 3.
Well, I'll talk about 3. That poor dog. But that was all set like they were
mining
like your
corporations.
your truckers, and it's just like okay, yeah, nothing was really nice while the other ones were like
Wayland
your
Corp.
Yeah, like your highly sophisticated, well-paid scientific research teams. And so it's like, there's an argument. I was like, okay, I can see the argument.
Doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah.
The only
thing I like is just, robots. But, there was something else, though, that, so here's I have a fun little story to share in our break from each other. Wow, that makes it sound like we were dating. We're not. It's just our time apart. I've been reading too many.
I can't believe you're seeing someone else already.
It's
as if I haven't been seeing someone the entire time we've known each other and before that.
Yeah. It's one of the things where I've been reading too many novels or at least one from the 1800s where it's like
did they expose ankles?
They exposed a lot of things depending on what story. But anyway, but yeah, it's sorry, it cracks me because it's just like I did the worst mistake that I could ever have done. I kissed her. It's just like, wait, what? Did I miss something? But which I don't know. I guess this goes into there. So me and the frequent listener, we went up to New York City, which was like the first time I'd been there for like actually to have like fun and just enjoy myself rather than some church related like mission trip or like helping people. It's like there's nice parts of New York. I forget what it's called. It's like the High Walk or something. Have you been to New York?
I like have places I go to in the city. I don't know the city, if that makes sense. Like yeah. I know areas in Philadelphia. I don't know areas in New York City very well.
So like we went to this place and pretty much I think it used to be the old like train station that used to go above the city before they made the subways. Mm-hmm. And now it's like a kind of like a restored nature park.
Okay.
And so or like nature walk. There we go. That's more what it's like. I forget what it's called, but we were just walking, taking it. It's like really nice. And then there's just these like really silly buildings that are just 90% glass, and I'm like, I don't know why you want to live in there, because it's I just imagine the greenhouse effect of just the sun. But anyway, like we're walking through there, and the frequent listener is just like, yeah, some days people will be walking down, and they'll just look over into these glass buildings, and people will and as I like to put it, have practicing their bonding time and their bonding techniques.
And they don't care if anyone sees.
Yep. Yeah. So we did not see anybody doing some couples exercise techniques, but yeah, apparently on that walk that is, I guess, one of the attractions.
That is an appropriate word. Attraction.
Yeah. So I'm just like, cool. I guess you have fun with that, I guess. Like,
that's a thing for some people.
I guess if you're gonna live in an apartment that has a giant glass, like, is just glass for walls, like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that is what I learned about New York.
That's your takeaway. People will do it if there's a lot of glass around them.
Mm-hmm. A lot of glass, and then a good amount of people that could possibly just be walking and look. And I might hear about this later. But anyway,
comment below if you've ever seen anybody.
Yeah, comment below if you've seen any bonding techniques done in the New
stretching?
York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to share the story.
I know.
I don't know what you expected.
It just look, everyone needs to get content somehow. But you know what we do to get content? We roll dice. Yeah. Oh, no, we do roll dice.
Oh, that is. I was going to say, terrible segue. We don't do whatever you might or might not have witnessed in New York City.
I didn't witness anything. I did witness some good food, though. And I told them, I was told, wow, you can use chopsticks pretty well. And I was like, because years ago, I was ridiculed by a teenager.
Yes. In a different major city.
Yeah. And so to prove said teenager wrong, I learned how to use chopsticks, and then I never saw them again.
I love living out of spite. But speaking of living out of spite, that kind of fits in with the first part of the episodes. Actually, both episodes.
Return the dice.
As Itisdpayne has said, we roll dice. We have a D20 and a D6 because we're watching 13 episodes that are each 2 parts, adds up to 26. An excuse for us to roll more dice because we are tabletop nerds. Itisdpayne, did you wrap up your Call of Cthulhu podcast by the time this is out?
When does this episode release?
The 16.
No. It hasn't. Let's see. The 16th is when the second to last episode of
close.
Chapter ends. Of the first, then we go into the ending.
Okay.
Pretty much, I was hoping we could end everything so that way we started releasing on Halloween. It would be fun to end on Halloween. Mm-hmm. But it isn't. So I think we're like 1 week off. But pretty much. Let's see. Sorry, I'm also just laughing because it's like our series, according to this. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. The air date. Yeah, I was looking at the potential recording date, but I'm like the air date. I'm like, wait, are we? Wait a second, the air date's wrong. It's a Saturday. Yeah, that's a Saturday.
Oh, I thought I had Mondays listed there. No, the 16th's a Monday.
Oh, I'm in September. I was looking at October.
Oh, okay.
Silly me. Or I was looking at the October dates. Anyway, either way, it's I think the Call of Cthulhu podcast ends on the 21st. And then we're taking a break, and then season 2 will be coming out probably, if everything goes well, near February.
Nice.
So, I already rolled, so...
Oh, I still have to roll mine.
Yeah.
Okay. I rolled kind of well. What did you roll?
My math is very difficult. I rolled a 7 and a 1. I had to make sure that that wasn't a 7 on my D6.
It's so hard to tell nowadays.
I have an 8.
I have a 17 and a 4 for a 21.
Oh, close.
I actually...
Which one do you want?
I really liked both of these episodes this week.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good way. Do you want the one that scared you as a child?
Yeah, I'll take the one that scared me as a child. But then when the photo card showed for this part B of this, I was like, oh, this is gross. I remember feeling grossed out by this episode. So, yeah. Anyway, so jumping in, like I said, both of these episodes I thought were really fun. But I always have a special place in my heart for King Ramses' curse. Because when I was a kid and I didn't know 3D animation very well, I remember being very creeped out by him. And in hindsight, watching him as an adult, I was like, his mouth never closes. It's kind of silly. Yeah. His mouth just like, they like Play-Doh it around. Yeah, his elbows have like no
arms,
attachments.
like have no muscles or actual function.
But his voice acting is very good.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of his voice acting is the "come on" when he gets spoiled. On. But yeah, so basically, the episode 7, season 1, kicks off with King Ramses' curse, and what you have is not cats, as in not the famous cats from the show, but 2 different cats that look similar to cats, are like complaining about trying to get away from a helicopter as they have something that they're hiding. They decide to hide it in the water well. You can see that they're burying it, and then all of a sudden a bunch of locusts come up and eat their truck before they can drive away, and because they were planning on becoming rich from what they had stolen. We'll come back when the heat's off. Yeah. And then they disappear entirely. The next morning, of course, the water well is the one attached to their house, and Courage is like, oh, somebody dug something up. And he pulls it up, and he's like, huh, this is weird. Brings it inside, and Muriel's like, oh, it's so old. It's so old. Use this. What is it? It's garbage from King Garbage's dynasty of garbage. Stinking dog bringing garbage into my stinking house. Turns on the TV. $1 million slab stolen. I'm rich. I'm rich.
I'm rich. And it's just, I wrote, Eustace's fastest 180.
To which he begins to cuddle that like it's his own child, and no matter what happens as the episode goes on, you can find Eustace sitting and cuddling this tablet. But toward, like, as things happen, first you have the warning for him showing up in his 3D animation in the fog saying, like, return the slab. And Eustace, of course, refuses, and Courage does his many, like, animations. Like, he's like, mummy. And I forget, he turns into something after the mummy. And
the Titanic?
No, the Titanic was... Oh, was that in the same shot?
Hold on. There's the... He turned... Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm thinking
I think he does the Titanic after he does... after the professor shows up.
Yeah, Professor Frith.
Farah University. Anyway, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Yes, so... he gets the warning, and Eustace is like, put an ad in the paper, and the professor shows up, and he's like, can you return it to us? And he's like, what's your offer? As if like his newspaper ad went up between the phone call. Also, it was awkward because the version I watched, I don't know if it was the case on the DVD, he called, and then he just sat there for a second and was like, yeah, that's the ad to put in the paper. I was like,
exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's right, and it makes it sound like he calls like every other week and just like, okay, bag, okay, you actually have the thing that people were talking about again. Where's my money?
Yeah, what's your offer? So yeah, the professor is like, but if you give us $1 million donation, you can have this tote bag. And Eustace later brings it up. He's like, I don't want you stinking tote bags. I just want money.
Which, to be fair, I'm like, you know what? I kind of agree with Eustace on that point. I'm like,
give me the $1 million. Give you the $1 million.
yeah.
So we have Mr. 3D Man, you know, expelling the curse and saying if you don't return it, you're going to have 3 plagues upon you. And then on the slab after his warning, he disappears. And I was like, if all of the images disappear, will it still be worth $1 million? It's a wonderful question. But yes, so then the first plague comes and it's a flood. So it begins raining inside the house. And the other thing I noticed, I was like, did they always have a fireplace in that front living room?
No.
And then the moose starts spewing water. I was like, oh, that's why they have a fireplace in the living room now.
Yeah, there's like just random stuff. But I guess it makes sense if Eustace has to rebuild the house literally after every episode.
I hope there's like a month between these episodes in time for him to be able to put all that work in, because I was like, I said to myself, they're more resilient than me. If my home got destroyed this often, I just simply would not rebuild it. I would just leave it to home insurance to do whatever they wanted.
But it was also like back in the day when houses were worth like $1.50. So
especially where they're living.
yeah.
So yes, so then you have the floods, and they end up going to the attic, and Eustace puts on snorkeling gear and sits on the ground and just like holds the tablet. And I was like, have they not thought to open a window? And instead you have Courage go to the basement and pull the drainage plug like you would have in a bathtub. And I was like, I don't know where that is in my house. I should probably check. Just in case I'm ever cursed.
Yeah, just find the stopper.
So he prevents the flood, and I think that's when the King Ramses does the come on, because they foil his first plague. So he sends out the second plague, and it's screechingly loud music. And this is what
Crazy God.
and then doesn't it go like King Ramses?
Yeah,
like
King Ramses.
And
have the lyrics here.
Oh, I hope.
Oh, it is King Ramses, the man of gods, the man of gods.
So we both got the two halves. So yeah, so then you have Courage like looking everywhere. And I was like, they have a full chicken coop, but I've never seen a chicken. Because like he goes through and like checks underneath the hay in the chicken coop, and I was like, wait, do they have chickens?
I found the lyrics to that song. It's like, apparently it repeats 5 or 6 times, the man in gauze, 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 King Ramses. And then it does that a bunch of times, and then it goes, King Ramses, the man in gauze, the man in gauze, he's no Santa Claus, the man in gauze, the man in gauze, King Ramses, the man in gauze, the man in gauze, he's no Santa Claus. And then they just repeat.
Yeah, he really is not a Santa Claus. Well, I guess he does bring a gift. It's kind of like
he brings 3 gifts. He's like Krampus.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like some of the horror Christmas films we watched recently. Another series plug. If I keep talking about previous episodes, eventually someone will go back in time and watch them. So then we have Courage eventually finds it hiding behind a rock. It's just a record player. He smashes it to bits. So he brings forth the final plague, which is the locusts that begin to eat everything. And Courage and Eustace end up in a fight saying, like, it's not worth it anymore. You're going to get us killed. And they do the fun little spinning animation where Courage is, like, holding on for dear life as Eustace is trying to get him off of it. And Muriel, this whole episode has been screaming. It's, like, the least laid back she's been, which makes sense. And this time she decides to stress bake herself as she thinks she's about to die. She's like cooking several things, multi-layered cake with like different colored icings as Eustace and Courage are fighting. And when Eustace finally is like, oh, half the house is gone. Fine, take it then. And then it ends up like Courage like chucks it, thinking it's quote unquote returned. And Eustace runs back out to it. And he's like, I found it again. I found it. And he looks up and like, King Ramses is clearly very tall, but I thought it was funny because it seemed to land at his feet, but King Ramses repeats the line, like, return the slab, and you just hear Eustace, like, scream. And then we, as usual, cut to Muriel and Courage sitting in their rocking chair, very comfortable, as if nothing bad ever happened to them. Turn on the TV. Professor Frith, it's been returned. Supposedly cursed Slab is back to where it belongs and shall never be taken out of the crypt. And you zoom in and you see Eustace screaming alongside the three plagues. And honestly, and Eustace...
What's your offer?
Yeah. So if a man showed up to my house, what's your offer? I'd be like, I don't know. I don't have anything to offer.
So I think when Courage threw the slab, he technically returned it. But then Eustace ran out and he's just like, because
it's mine again.
Well, the locust stopped and he's like, haha, and he says something on the lines of like, that's 3 plagues. That's all up.
Oh, you're all out of ammo, buddy.
You're all out of ammo. What's your offer? He's like, I ain't taking no stinking tote bags, and that's when he gets eaten. But yeah.
Oh, I do love Eustace shouting, I can see the zipper on that cheap costume.
Yeah.
As if the man looks like he doesn't belong in their universe at all. He has an extra dimension on him.
Mm-hmm. And then there was something else. I didn't write this note, but I'm just like, just saw it in there where it's like Professor Firth or whatever his name is. He's like, we returned the supposedly cursed slab back to the King Ramses' tomb where it shall be. And then the person's like, the only time the British Museum returned anything.
That means it was cursed.
Yeah. Let's see. There's some trivia here. This is the first and only appearance of King Ramses, and it's the first appearance of Professor Firth. It's when Courage transforms into a boat, a sailor version of Freaky Fred music can be heard.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Me neither, because I was still wondering, why did he turn into a boat to sink?
I thought like it was like the Titanic, which was like also weird, or like the Bermuda Triangle, because he's like, it's mysterious, but again, also doesn't really fit.
Mm-hmm. There's something else I was thinking of where it's the cat thieves didn't get the 3 chances like the bags did, and it's there's like probably because they stole it first, so they just went to the most like the hardest punishment.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just like they probably already encountered the first 2 plagues and before they hid the slab. And then they just weren't able to give it back. And then here's... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I like that they list mistakes, and they said, like, factually, this show is a liar. I'm like, I never thought this show was a truther. But the wiki thought they had to clarify that locusts don't eat living creatures or inanimate objects. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, famously, locusts eat all of your plants and your livestock, or not livestock, but like
clothes.
Yeah, like cotton and plants and like plant adjacent things, because famously it causes starvation. When the locusts come through.
And then apparently when Maria runs away, she runs to supposed to be the kitchen, but the animation shows that it's the backyard.
Again, I don't catch a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there having a good time. Just like Eustace in this still I'm about to send you.
Yeah, there's the other thing. I noticed this a couple times that, like, depending on what the shot is, the slab has all its engravings back on it.
Yeah, I did notice that. Just him sitting underwater.
He's so cozy. I didn't know that's how snorkels work.
Me neither. But I also like when he listed off the things he was going to spend $1 million on. It was all things that he could afford if he had like a job instead of sitting at home. Lawn chairs, light bulbs for the attic. What else did he say he needed? Spark plugs.
It was funny because I'm like, you know what? Like, I like how it seems Eustace just wants the money to fix the house and not so much like booze and things. Yeah, it's
he
just
doesn't want
like
spaceships and yachts. He wants to be comfortable.
He doesn't want Twitter. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. When he said that, I'm like, you know what? Which goes to my theory of how he has to fix his house every time. I'm like, you know what? If he had to fix his house like every time Courage brings something stupid into the house, I could understand his anger towards Courage and why he really wants money, because he's got to keep fixing this dumb house.
Stop bringing garbage into my home.
So
yeah, I don't think I have anything to add to this episode. If you want to start up on the clutching foot,
should be. Yeah, I did catch this line too. It was like, "This night you'll be visited by 3 plagues, each worse than the last," is a reference to the Christmas Carol. When Jacob Marley announces 3 more spirits who will be worse than the last.
But he's not Santa Claus.
Correct. It's probably, you know what, and that probably why that
the
line makes a little bit more sense. Oh, that's interesting. The last thing, and I'll go to the next one, is this episode, Courage only has 1 line of dialogue in this episode, not counting his yelling and screaming.
What does he say?
I don't remember.
I don't remember at all. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't
talks
remember.
a lot in the next episode. So.
Yeah. And then also, this just fits. This episode commonly thought by fans to be one of the scariest episodes of the series, with many viewers confessing to having nightmares caused by it.
I don't think I had. Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. I think I did, actually. I do think I had nightmares. It looks like they have the transcript, and when I search Courage, it's a lot of woo, oh, huh. Like, I don't see where his like line of dialogue is, so the transcript might not be fully complete on this wiki. Oh yo. Poor Courage.
Well, I just got a message from the frequent listener, where they wanted to say, which also this just 2 things. The frequent listener pretty much just like, oh well, pretty much is just like, I'll stop talking, stop sending messages now. And I'm like, I'm the one that responded, but she was like, tell Hop I'm a fan. Good night. But did you know we had a comment on our YouTube video?
Oh, let me go look.
It is the Courtesy Cowardly Dog Mole Mother's Day.
The one that I didn't watch an episode for, but good. Where do I go to notifications on this?
If you
first, good for them. Easy to do, to be honest. Sorry, that's.
Hey, it's all good. For some reason, the episode before that got 20 listens.
We're doing it.
That's, which was feeling quite naughty, which is probably the why naming that. So I'm like, afterward, because I was just quoting Fred, and I'm like, afterwards, like I uploaded and everything, and I was like, that has a lot of views, and I looked at the title, I'm like, that might have something to do with it. Oh well. But anyway, I never know what I'm gonna actually name these episodes. And
I just trust you implicitly. No questions, no notes.
Yeah. Hey, you're allowed to go in there. You also have all the passwords and stuff if you wanted to change anything.
I don't have access to anything.
That you just proved in the recording that you went and looked.
It's okay. I know you do a lot.
That has nothing to do with if you wanted to change anything.
I don't have access.
That's a lie. You know what? I need to go talk with your therapist. Be like, you need to talk to her about.
Change the passwords.
No. We have one password that doesn't make sense at all anymore, and it's like
even better.
Yeah, which is great, but it's like, you know how many passwords that thing is on for us now? It's just like, no, I'm not changing that. Because then it'd be like, oh, wait, which one is it? Is it the one with... Right now it's easy. Is it the one with the exclamation point or not?
Spoilers.
Oh, my gosh.
We're gonna get hacked.
Then then we can have a news story. And then, who knows? Maybe they'll take us out of context to promote a political opponent. The fun things I see on Twitter, and I'm like, who cares? Any poops.
Time to talk about feet. Also popular on Twitter.
Well, I have the cold open to the episode now.
Happy to be here.
So this episode is called The Clutching Foot. So it starts off with Eustace waking up from, like, he has like a nightmare about like wool socks, and he's like, my dang foot's itchy. And just like looks down and just like looks at Courage just like standing there, and Courage is like, why you itching my foot? Well, it turns out like Eustace has like a foot fungus, and Muriel's like, oh, I have some homemade remedies for this.
Would not trust anybody if they brought these to me as remedies, but go on.
I think Muriel is just getting revenge at this point, because it's she rubs a cactus over his foot. By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say his foot at this point is swollen purple with like green pustules all over it. And it's just like super itchy and all that stuff. So yeah, like she rubs a cactus on it, nothing happens. Gets a bucket full of lobsters, and that surprisingly also doesn't work. And it says acid here, and it's just like green sludge that Courage like comes out, and like
it has like eyeballs and fish bones,
and like he puts it in his foot, and it's just like he brings it out, and his foot looks like a raisin now. And it's just like nothing works, which I will say, like I would get poison ivy pretty bad, and this isn't poison ivy, but I'm like, there's some times where I'm like, you know what? It just sounds like sticking my foot in the acid like that would just burn it all off. I'm like, there we go. I feel better now. Anyway, so Eustace is like, heck with you guys. And like, you got to go to the doctor. He's like, no, just need a nap. And so while he takes a nap, the fungus grows to where it's now he's like a mermaid, but a foot.
The best way to describe it. Like, he pulls down from his nap. He's got his newspaper. He's like, my foot feels great. I don't even. And you realize there's not really much foot left.
It is just a foot. And so yeah, he and all of a sudden the fungus just grows and absorbs Eustace, like a Dragon Ball Z character absorbs story plots. And all of a sudden we have what is it called? Big Toe, which is a foot full of gang members, pretty much like old gangsters. Like, see, we're gonna go rob the bank. Yeah. and then it's got the three toes that are all in line, and the last one's just like, yeah, see. Just
always a little bit too late.
Yeah. So anyway, they do that. As Courage, like, he gets caught by the foot, and like visually, and it's just like, all right, you're gonna help us out. And Courage is like, I ain't helping you. And oh wait, this is when Courage comes in and screams, and all his teeth shoot out. Yeah, and he's like, oh. But so pretty much by threatening Muriel, they're like, we're gonna crush her to death or squish her to death if Courage doesn't help.
She's gonna get it. See?
Yeah, gonna get it. So they pretty much from there tell Courage, okay, go rob the bank. And so he tries to break open a door, hurts his shoulder, and so he just uses the ATM machine, and when it gives him his money, he crawls inside it. Which I will admit, for the longest time, that's how I thought ATM machines worked.
Look, all I know is that if Bruce Willis was the same size as Courage, Bruce Willis would do great in here compared to how, he has all his practice from Die Hard.
Yep. I don't know. There might be a lot more dead, a lot less. Well, no one died. The bank explodes. But anyway,
it was Sunday. It was closed.
Yeah, and so Courage is exploring, sees all the different things. Like it's like the most convoluted uh like defense system they have, where they're just like there's like a vat of like boiling acid or whatever it was like in front of the vault, and Courage is like his shoe drops in there and like burns up, and he's like, oh no, and then pulls out like an ice like a milk like an iced tea or something and drinks it all, and then drops the 3 ice cubes into the boiling vat to where they're immediately like, oh my gosh, and just run off. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what I was expecting there. and so he just like gets down, tries to like open up the door to the vault multiple times to where he's like, all right, I'm just gonna put dynamite in there. And as he puts the dynamite and starts climbing away, the door opens, and soon the bank explodes. Courage lands in the back of the truck where Muriel is still being held hostage by by Big Toe, and you just see shreds of paper money just coming down. He's like, yeah, you destroyed the money, see? So then they plan to rob a train where they tell Courage to stand on the train tracks to stop the train, which that does work, but Courage is eating a banana, gets scared, throws the banana peel, and so when Big Toe goes to kick open, I guess, the train, he slips on a banana peel and punts the train like over a mountain. It's like, hey, you made me kick this too hard. And it's like, that's Courage's fault. So that's when they come up with their last plan, which, hearing what I hear a bunch of people say, I think some people would be okay with what they want to do. Even though Mira says, I think this is against the law.
I'm surprised there's a law for it.
Yeah, well, she's like, this is against the law, I think. Unless there's an actual somewhere in the trivia. Where Big Toe wants to knock over the entire state of Florida. Except for, I don't know how to pronounce this, Boca Raton? Boca Raton?
Yeah, I forget what he said. He hates that one.
Yeah, he hates it.
But everything else is, yeah, get rid of it.
So.
Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Like.
So he goes on there, and he's like looking at a map and just going on and on, where Courage sneaks away to go talk to the computer, where he's like, how do I get rid of this foot fungus? And he's like, baths? And he's like, not me. The whole Eustace or the farmer. And he's like, that makes sense. And he's like, well, I need a sample. And so he's like, so he goes down and gets a fishing hook and like hooks one of the pustules off and rips it off the skin without him noticing, and brings it up, puts it in the disk drive for the computer, where the computer's just like, oh, that tastes nasty, disgusting. And pretty much gives it back to him or tells him, like, okay, well, there's only one cure, dog saliva. And Kurt is like, oh no. And he's like, yep, have fun with that, buddy. And to my mind, where it's just like drooling, I was like, okay, just drool all over him. No, Courage is like, okay, gotta lick this fungus to where it like melts and disintegrates away. Eustace is back, and he's just like, and Muriel's just like, oh, God, you saved me. And she runs over, picks up Courage, and who's still in a daze. And then it goes to later where Courage is in the bathroom, brushing his teeth and tongue, mouth washing, flossing his tooth. And he's just like, and then like after that, he looks in the mirror, and then you just hear like this muffled voice like, yeah, Shay, we got a plan, Shay. And then he's just like opens up his mouth as his tongue is now Big Toe.
And he's like, oh.
And he's like, oh no, which it's just doesn't make sense if dogs is the cure, but yeah, that is the episode.
Yeah, this one is just a generally gross one. But yeah, theoretically, Courage could have, like, drooled and spit a bunch into a cup and, like, thrown it onto the creature enough times. But I do like Courage's one-liners in this one. He has the, when they go to do the bank heist, he's like, man, I wish I learned how to drive stick.
Yes.
And then right before he licks the foot, I think this is going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, thanks for breaking the fourth wall, Courage. Good luck.
Yeah.
I do love the sassy computer, though. Patilli.
Yeah.
Spits it out of the CD drive. I want a sample. Oh, disgusting. I hate it. Get it out.
Yeah, it's like, why'd you put it in there?
I thought he was going to scan it because he clearly next to it has like a document scanner and everything. But what do we know?
That's what I thought too. And then it's just, oh.
Right into the CD drive. Let's see. So trivia-wise, it says this is the first appearance of Big Toe. I didn't remember Big Toe coming back.
Me neither, but there's a lot of things I don't remember.
Yeah. The name of it is a reference to a 1934 novel, The Clutching Hand. If you couldn't guess from the silly accents, they say that the toes are based on gangsters in the 30s movies. I do like this trivia. This is the first episode where Muriel immediately knows about the monster and the danger it presents. Because it is kind of weird for her to walk into the room and scream and automatically go, "What have you done to Eustace?" Which is not her reaction to most other things that happen around her. Mm-hmm. Her reaction is usually, "Oh, Courage."
It's like, I'm going to make some soup.
Let's see. Locomotive fun facts. No, I'm not a trained person, so I'm gonna keep looking. And then they say they mentioned the doctor that had come out before, Dr. Vindaloo. Apparently Eustace makes a comment about not wanting to go see him. The confusions are like little things, like little mistakes.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking up like the Clutching Hand, and it just all it's bringing up is a 15 episode series. But then it's like the serial's based loosely on an Arthur Reeve final novel. Okay.
Oh, apparently the Big Toe shows up in season 4. I looked through the wiki. I also did not appreciate that the Big Toe kept calling Muriel fat.
When I heard that, I'm like, I know Hop's bringing this up.
I'm a simple lady. Muriel's adorable, and she cooks fresh food, even though she wants to put vinegar in raspberry jam because her aunt told her so.
I was like, I could write that, and I'm like,
it'll come up on its
I know
own.
it's gonna come.
I'm a simple lady.
Yeah, but it was just like, it wasn't just like a quick mention. It was just like
constant. He was just
like, oh, the fat lady gets it.
Yeah, see, and then you hear Muriel, Courage.
Yeah. And so it's interesting that Big Toe does not want to steal from Boca Raton. Man, this is what the internet likes to do. It's like, that's not how it's pronounced. Whatever. I only read it.
Leave a comment on a YouTube video if you pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, and make sure you tell us that you're first.
Yes.
A more affluent, apparent at the time, more affluent city, at least in the county.
Shmoney.
So, yeah, the quotes. I just know it's gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth. There's confusions. Muriel's remedies include a cactus on an infected foot, sticking in a bucket of lobsters, and dipping in a vat of hot and sticky substance, all which do more harm than good.
Who would have thought?
But then, of course, the hot sticky substance did remove the fungus, leaving a red foot in its place, but it regrow back afterwards.
Yeah, it wasn't a long-lasting remedy at all. But she did at least, like, level up the extremes where it did get rid of it, but at what cost?
Yep. Licking.
Ugh. Rest in peace, Courage.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered all that we're going to cover with that foot episode. There you go, you little weirdos on the internet that like that stuff.
Feet.
I will yuck your yums. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm the nicer one, but also don't make me lick fungus feet. Yuck.
I don't know. I don't get it. But to be fair, there's a lot of stuff I don't get. So.
Yeah, you did seem confused about the whole glass building. So. That's a yum for some people.
Yeah.
That's a long pause.
Oh man. I don't know.
In any case,
I don't understand humans sometimes. I understand why the aliens want to blow this up. But next week, or just every Dragon Ball Z villain.
It's also valid. But yeah, well, not a lot of them were human. Namely, the main characters of Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Are they named what they are with their tails? That sounds derogatory. It's not. I just don't remember if they have.
What the alien creature is? That the main character is?
Like, are they just Saiyans? Like,
yeah.
Is that just what they are?
Yeah, they're just Saiyans.
Yeah. And then he had a kid with a human.
Yes. So then there's half.
And then somebody else, human. and a human had a kid with an android.
Yes. And I think they said. I think the way they played it off is like, yeah, there turns out there was just enough human parts. And that's just how I think that's. They just left it. They're like, yeah, it turns out they.
Oh, did all the Saiyans have kids with humans?
Yeah, because I think at that point, all the Saiyans were gone.
All the Saiyans were men.
I think so. Like, it's one of those things that isn't very clear because it's like, and this is a whole nother fandom that I don't know a ton about, but it's always like, all right, in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Goku meets his brother who's an alien. And it's like, oh, I'm an alien? Yes, you are. And so then the Prince of all Saiyans is coming, and he's not as nice as me and much more powerful. And then he dies.
I just remember they have to get their tails removed by puberty.
At least on Earth, because the moon pretty much treats it like a werewolf kind of King Kong situation, where it makes them a giant monkey, which but yeah, so they do that, and then
like, this is just like from years of watching it. I haven't touched the series in a very long time.
Me neither. Now the only thing I know is like clips I see on YouTube, like, because Dragon Ball is just Journey to the West, with some extra things.
And then with each iteration, they keep condensing it more and more. Because like Z is condensed, and then I think Kai is even more condensed. And then wasn't there another? I
think Kai is just the like, hey, we're taking all the filler out. Kind of like how the One Piece coming out next year is just taking all the filler out of One Piece. Which I'm like, hey, I might actually watch One Piece this time.
The live action also took out quite a bit of the filler, as far as I'm aware.
So. I heard that was done pretty well. But yeah, anyway, it sounds like the Vegeta blew up all the Saiyans. That's what it is. He blew up the Saiyan planet and
turned good guy. Eventually.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But
well, I mean, like, he had a kid with a human, and then their kids are all friends.
No,
and then he also.
That's Vegeta. Frieza's the white lizard looking one.
Oh, I heard Vegeta. Sorry.
Oh, I might have said Vegeta when I meant Frieza. I may have misspoke. But yes, Frieza is the one that blew up the Saiyans and then they shipped Kakarot to Earth. They just shot him off into space.
Carrots and broccoli. Broly. Sorry.
And then Broly got shipped somewhere else. And then all that's left is Prince Vegeta, which is and then Nappa,
cabbage,
and Radish.
This is how I remember them.
Yeah, and then 2 of them died, so now it's just Vegeta and Goku.
Yes, but in any case, that's not what.
And Brawly.
This is not what this podcast is about. Tune in next week as we watch The Hunchback of Nowhere. Oh, this is a sad episode.
I like this. These 4 episodes, I feel like, are the ones that I remember the most.
That's fair. Oh, I forgot to ask you. So these last 2 episodes, would you watch them with the niece?
I think it's my duty as an uncle to cause the trauma of King Ramses' curse as early as possible. So yes. The clutching foot, I guess. I don't know. It's just more goofy. It's like the more I'm watching this, like I think I would watch with the niece, but I think right now she's just too young to like fully enjoy what is happening. Or like even have like a basic understanding of it. Mm-hmm. So like if anything, I might wait until like she's 7.
I think 7's about a good age.
7, 8 before like, hey, let's watch Courage.
They have most of their fears picked out by then. Yeah. So hopefully you don't introduce too many new ones.
Hey, I might be creating the next Shinji Ito. Where she's so afraid of everything, she's just like, I'm just gonna make it.
I have to put it on paper. I can't live in the brain anymore.
Yeah, that's a lot of the podcast ideas. So it's just like, or things I'm like, now I think there's Hob knows it's gonna be something just like she could ignore, or it's gonna this might be doable. When I start off, feel free to ignore this. I needed to get this out of my brain so I can just function like a normal human again, whatever that means. And then it's like a paragraph. I'm like, okay, I'm going back to bed.
But yeah, so other than all of that, the only other announcement is stay tuned for bonus Alien Romulus episode. That's all I've got.
Yeah. We'll let you know when it comes out, or we'll just hit the feed. That one will probably be a shorter episode, though. It probably won't be a full hour. Maybe. I don't know.
We can't spoil it, so.
I don't know anything about it. So.
Well, I mean, like, we made up our fake 5-year rule thing of...
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, we can just say spoiler warning.
Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes. We might set our timer. I don't know. We'll let you guys know what the arbitrary rules we make up. But, anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.